Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan. Running pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
Wow, what a weekend, huh? Hope you had a great weekend. Welcome, everybody, to the Braylon Edwards Show. Here on Woodward Sports, Monday through Friday, 2 till 4. Kool-Aid is with us. He's pulling double duty. That's not a surprise. And the man who is Braylon Edwards is here. Hope you had a good weekend. How was it? I didn't see you in Ann Arbor. I texted you, but I didn't see you in Ann Arbor.
My phone's old crack. You've seen it a million text. I didn't get any service. You text and call me. Dave Logan text and call me. So did Mike Martin. So did Max, my boy. Everybody was hitting me up, and I legitimately didn't get service until I got to the suites. Got a little bit of that service. I tapped in for a minute, but I was watching the game, so I do apologize. It wasn't very much to watch after the field goal and the interception, but it was a good weekend. Like Thanksgiving came and went. I feel like Wednesday I hung out. You know, back in the day we talked about that on Thursday and Friday. Hung out, realized that I'm older now, so it took me a little longer to recover, if you will. Thursday was cool. Friday was work. We saw you. We saw each other. We talked about the Lions' loss. And Saturday was another loss. Chill. But you know what? What were you guys when I left the game? Because I definitely did not stay to the end. You guys know me.
I'm going to say you lasted midway through the third.
What's going on, Kool-Aid, who's doing double duties today? We appreciate you. He's back in the fold. What say you? When did I leave the game, which wasn't much of a game?
The game. You talking about in the cold.
Well, he was in the suite.
In the
so
suite,
not
though.
necessarily have to
That's
deal
true.
with
That's
it.
Don't have him
The
sitting next to me. I was in the cold, dude. Okay? All
I'm
right.
sorry, Chef.
Yeah, okay.
I was thinking about where I was probably going to be sitting if I was there. It's my fault, bro.
Okay.
But let me think. In the suite, it is the game. There with your friends and your fam. And Woodward Sports Boots on the ground. I'm going to say after halftime. I'm going to say about midway through the third quarter.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
You guys are pretty spot on. I left with 2 minutes left.
Oh.
2 minutes left in the third.
In the third. Okay.
Yeah, game was over. Like pretty
That's
much
fair.
though. I
That's
will say
fair.
this: in the suite experience, you know, because the suite that I work with, it's a financial guy. Shout out to Focus Financial, and you know what happens is they bring clients in there. They win all types of raffles and things of that nature, and then I come in there, I give them good banter, conversation, I regale them with tales and blah blah blah, and answer all type of questions. There's no such thing as bad questions. But there was a guy in there, Shep, man, he was just obnoxious. There was a guy, and he and his wife and his best friend and his wife, they were enjoying the experience.
Did they tip too many?
You know, just a couple too many, just a couple
Okay.
nips too many. And
Okay.
every play they had something to say. Every conversation, every play they were the hindsight offensive coordinator.
Same.
They were the hindsight quarterback. They could have made a better read. His wife the whole game. So I would have never called that play. You're right, because you would have never auditioned for a job. So you would have never been in the space. So it got to the point where Michigan had started not getting first downs. They started being unresponsive. And on offense for Ohio State, you could see the game about to take off. After that Cardinal touchdown, the wide open one, between that touchdown and her mouth, I threw the deuces.
You were done.
I held on as long as I could, Shep, but, yesterday was –
That's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, when you know as much football as you know, you talk to as many people
just
as you know.
everything. Should have
It's-
caught that. Shouldn't have been thrown.
Yeah.
Should have been this.
Why didn't he throw over there?
Why didn't you call
you
this
run
play?
this?
Why
Yeah.
didn't the band play this song?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
tripping on the band too?
Yeah, you're tripping on, a Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Although, it could be worse. Could be one of those guys who were out there in a snowflake costume, right?
There was so many blow up costumes.
I
They
know, it was
overdid it for
great.
halftime.
They really did.
Doesn't it feel different when your team, I guess is the Lions in this case, when they've played already, especially when they lose, Sunday just does not have that same feel.
I agree, 100%.
Like I was so uninvolved in the games that
That
were
would
on.
make
And
me
the
cry
first
all
slate of
over
games
again.
just was a boring slate of games, regard with the exception of the one.
It's hard to watch one game all the way through unless it's your team.
Thank God Carolina and
the Rams.
Los Angeles gave us something in the first hour, and then second wave of games is more of the same.
I was watching more Red Zone than I ever have before, when usually I like to lock in on one game. And this has nothing to do with fantasy football. I know it does for you sometimes, but I had to tune into Red Zone so I could see a lot of different stuff. I was bored with the Cleveland game. That's the game we got, right? It's like, are you kidding me?
Cleveland,
this
that
is
was
it?
horrible.
Oh, it was just awful. So I agree. I was in section 36 with some folks, and it's a great experience. Don't get me wrong, but you're sitting so close to one another at Michigan Stadium. It's brutal. It really is. You don't sit down. Everybody stands, okay, which is fine. I mean, they're into it. I had the guy in front of me, 2 rows in front of me, who's trying to tell everybody in the section that we're not loud enough, that our team needs us, that we need to do more, all that kind of thing. And the initial thought from me is, dude, they can't even hear you, okay? Because you got a PA announcer going on, you got music going on, you've got so many other things.
DJ Ski.
Yeah, they cannot hear you. I'm not saying don't be passionate for you, but standing up and telling people what to do all the time gets a little old. Can we just watch the game for a little bit? Is that possible? That was my
I'm surprised
experience.
people didn't hear it because it was quiet in there, and rightfully so. Like I said, after the field goal and the interception, Michigan didn't give them much to cheer about. There was a goal line stand, and the defense came out to play a little bit.
Really
but
good, yeah.
Defense came out to play early on, and you could tell that Wink Martindale had those guys prepared. They played with an enthusiasm. They played with a physicality. They played with we know this team. We know that we're more physical than this offense. That's how they played early on. But when you don't get any help from your offense, when the offense continues to leave you on the field, when the coach, when the offensive coordinator just will not put together a game plan,
there's no pressure.
That's conducive.
No pressure on Sand whatsoever.
Like 100%. Like Sands back there, he's just chill. It looked like Jordan Love.
Yeah,
on Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
It looks very similar.
He was just knitting a sweater back there. It was incredible.
Yeah.
So I did wonder a few things while I'm watching that game.
Yeah.
And I wonder what your thought was when you played. I know you get 111,000 there. Is it a loud stadium? Do you consider Michigan Stadium loud?
No.
I don't think so either.
No, it never has been.
Yeah.
Like there are moments when you realize there's 110,000 possibility. There are moments when you realize there's 115. Like I've either been in games or I've been to a game where I'm like, okay. There it is. There's the 115,000 I've been hearing about. But those moments are far and few in between. Mm-hmm. Like on average, it's just a cool, chill stadium that has history. It's very large. It's cool. It's the open bowl. But it is not consistently in the space where I use the word ruckus. Like it's not ruckus. It's not chaotic. It's not like that. Like I played at Autzen. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what's the loudest college football venue you played at? Autzen, where Oregon played?
Especially considering, they were 47,000. Like it was only 47,000 was the attendance at Autzen Stadium when we played out there, and I couldn't hear bleep.
Wow.
That was loud. Ohio State obviously is ridiculous.
Penn State gets loud.
100%. I was going to Death Valley. I haven't played in Death Valley. Talking about LSU.
Yeah.
Home of Lane Kiffin now. I haven't played there before, but I've been to a game. Like it, I don't understand how you play it. Like it's that loud. So yeah, those are probably the loudest for me though.
And how about NFL? Seattle, right?
Seattle was nuts. Like Seattle was loud for the home team.
Yeah.
It got to. I'm like, geez, Louise, this 12th man is a real deal out here. But that Chiefs is loud. Like they don't hype that up. Arrowhead gets loud.
Yeah.
Arrowhead it gets pretty loud out there.
Okay, so not being that we started on Michigan, why don't we just continue with that? This team's just an average football team. That's all they are. Okay, there's never the discussion is if they beat Ohio State, would they be in the college football playoff? Was a legitimate one because if you beat the number one team in the country, the gap between Ohio State and Michigan is pretty extensive, don't you think?
Yeah.
How much?
It's just gotten back to the point where, what we had gotten out of, what 2021 through 2024, what it had done for us, it put us in a situation that was no more, lacking the speed, lacking the physicality, lacking up front, lacking the playmakers, lacking all those things. Like Michigan had caught up and passed what Ohio State was. You don't believe me? Look at the resume previous to this season. This year, it seems like Ohio State has always stayed the course, but they've gone back to adding physical players on defense, some aggressive players on defense. They've stayed the course, and through, whatever it is, they've maintained and been able to bring in those 5 stars, bring in those positions of note, and reload every single year. When you watch that game, it just wasn't good enough. And nothing about that offense, nothing about that defense, nothing about that team told me that they were close to potentially competing with Ohio State again.
100%. I don't think they're close at all.
I don't think they have the players. I don't think they had the players to compete fully. I don't think they have the player development anymore. Like one of the biggest knocks on Harbaugh early on in his career, you look at 2016 to 2020, none of his players got better. Like you can look at a Jabril Peppers, you can look at a Rashawn Gary, a Mo Hurst, J.U. Chesson, Amari Darboh, whatever position you want to lead to. Khalid Hudson,
Jake Butt.
Yeah. Jake was just really good, but all these players did not get better. Insert 2021, he changed his hiring practices, hired some younger staff members, brought some guys in from the NFL, younger guys, hungrier guys, figured it out, opened up his door to policy, everything changed. And it looked better, it looked different. Ben Herbert, strength and conditioning coach, was a dynamo. He got these guys back ready. That's where you saw the explosiveness of a Donovan Edwards or a Blake Corum. But in that space, you start seeing players get better. I saw offensive linemen get better from 21 to 24. Sure. Linebackers, like the defensive line. I mean, look at what they did in college, and now look at what they're doing in the NFL. You can see the carryover. Look at where the coaches are. The coaches are in the NFL. Yeah. It was the who's who have come here.
One of them's done a really good job as a head coach.
100%. Michael McDonald, who's with the Seahawks. But it's the who's who's going to come here for a year and then go to the NFL and find some space. Right. That wasn't what I've seen this season. Like outside of Andrew Marsh, who
wasn't targeted once,
100%. Outside of Andrew Marsh, I can't tell you the player, I can't tell you the position that got significantly or just better this season.
Some digressed. Marlon Klein digressed.
He's even still playing?
Yeah, I know. It's nowhere to be found.
So that is the direct reflection of the head coach, and there's definitely going to be something coming down the pipeline in Ann Arbor, something that's going to be a shakeup. But with that being said,
so it's the head coach, but it's also the offensive coordinator. Chip Lindsey has, I would say, well, I'll just say, I don't think he's done a very good job.
Who hired Chip Lindsey?
Well, as the head coach, I get that, but in anything, a head coach, a general manager, in professional, it all lies at their feet. But if you're recognizing, and this is what Dan Campbell recognized, even though it hasn't worked out, obviously, the last few games. If you recognize where your weakness is, then you have to, how do you make it into a strength? Maybe he shouldn't be calling plays any longer. Maybe somebody else should take over that role to at least change things to try and make it a little bit more of a positive.
I think it's different than the NFL, though. Like in college, you don't have a bunch of guys in the wing that can call plays. Like Sharon Moore is not the guy that's like, oh, well, it sucks with Chip Lindsey, so let me take over. Mm-hmm. They don't have a guy waiting in the wings. Chip Lindsey is where he put all his eggs. Chip Lindsey is the offensive coordinator that he thought could come in and best help a number one overall recruit in Bryce Underwood, and that hasn't been the case. Yeah. And at no part in this year did he say anything to him, or did he change things, or did he start allowing a different type of offense. There has been no flow on this offense. The only thing we had going for us was Justice Haynes in the running game, and that was going behind a better running back than the offensive line. Yeah. Offensive line hasn't been that good, and they've been young. Some injuries early on to 2 5-stars. So now you got
3 redshirt freshmen.
Right. Yeah. So you're trying to make it work. And to their point, they got better. But it's not much that they can do when you're going against that Ohio State team. They just tried to basically say, we're going to put all our eggs in the basket that Jordan Marshall is going to run for 240 and make it happen. And what happened? That wasn't the case.
He got injured.
Make sure his shoulder holds up.
100%. So
and how does Michigan, with all due respect, how does Michigan go from to what I would call it's a really good 1-2 combination, right? And running back.
Yeah, Justice
really
Haynes,
good.
Jordan Marshall.
Yeah, if healthy. How do you drop off to a walk-on? How does Michigan, nothing against walk-ons, how does Michigan drop off to a walk-on as their third string running back? I think that's an issue.
And how do the Lions drop off to a third string, a practice squad wide receiver? Like, it's become the mirror image with the Lions.
Well, I guess I agree with that, but the Lions have, they're limited. They have 53. Michigan has 94.
Yeah, but realistically, like I'm watching all the other teams around the NFL. Like wide receiver is the position right now. You need wide receivers. Everybody's passing the ball. To go from one injury and now all of a sudden you're dealing, I guess two, with Khalif Raymond, but you're not dealing with a Tom Kennedy on most franchises, especially franchises that are going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Although
not,
Kennedy played pretty well, quite honestly.
he did, but it's not about how well he played. It's about that he shouldn't have been there because he was on the practice squad.
Right. So
More
Brandon
so than
Cooks
anything.
goes out. Brandon Cooks gets signed right away, and suddenly he's in the game immediately.
100%.
So
because speed kills.
Yeah.
And Brandon's still fast. But getting back to Michigan, I mean, you've had countless running back after running back after running back after running back in this program. You had Justice Haynes, who transferred from Alabama, and then you had Jordan Marshall as the guy, backing him up. Like, I think it's just one of those years. Just one of those years you got those two hurt, exhausted those two, and now you have a walk-on that, I mean, look, for what it was, he played well. He's got a 3-touchdown game. He's got a 170-yard game this season.
Yeah, it was disheartening, and I was watching the game trying to figure out where does the blame lie. So obviously Sharon Moore has to shoulder some of it.
Yeah.
Chip Lindsey has to shoulder some of it.
Yeah.
The offense in general has to shoulder a lot of it, and Bryce Underwood has to shoulder some of it. Am I wrong there?
Everybody wants Bryce to face this type of criticism and scrutiny because he's making money. Whatever that money is, we still don't know. We don't know what the real number is. But because he's making money now and it's his fault, and it's just not the case. Like, this kid's 18 years old. He went to Michigan legit, and you say you don't care about the age, that's fine. When number one quarterbacks go to places, they've been going for a long time. I did some notes, and I looked some stuff up. These 18-year-old quarterbacks, they coming in, they're not taking over right away. Jackson Dart didn't take over right away. Bryce Young legitimately backed up. But when Bryce Young got to Alabama, do you know who was on his team? Brian Robinson Jr. was a starting running back. You know who the backup running back was? Backup running back is, they'll come to me in a second. John Mechie was on that team. Jameson Williams was on that team. Like, what I'm saying is it's tons of five-star Bryce to have that success. Not for Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood is legitimately playing with 3 redshirt offensive linemen, a backup, you just called it, a
walk-on
running back, a wide receiver they gave number 1 to and didn't throw the ball to all season because he couldn't necessarily get open.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they started Samaj Morgan, who shouldn't have been a starting wide receiver, and you see what his season was.
Tight end disappeared, like you said.
Dropping passes, it's been countless drops after drops after drops. Finally, you get a serviceable wide receiver, Andrew Marsh, to show late in the season. Where was that? So to have blame on Bryce Underwood.
Well, he's got to shoulder some of it. I'm not blaming all of it at him. He's got to shoulder some of it. Look, you and I have talked about this before.
What 18-year-old quarterback?
I don't know.
Was it Trevor Lawrence, who was the number 1 player in the country? What quarterback would have come into this offense?
I don't know the answer to that.
And had success when your offensive coordinator from week to week is different.
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if anybody does. Probably not many would be the most logical answer. However, if we are at the beginning of a season going to complain, and rightfully so, I might add, about Arch Manning in Texas and how he's overhyped and he's not delivering, we don't look at all the deficiencies in his offense, probably because they don't have as many as Michigan.
But Texas spent $25 million on the offense.
Right. I know.
Like, Texas has spent $25 million on that offense.
I don't know how much
Take
Michigan
Bryce
has
Underwood. Not enough. They spent it all on him. Take Bryce Underwood.
Yeah, they spent it on him.
Okay, well, take Bryce Underwood, send him to Texas and see what that looks like, because it looks a lot better than it did with Arch Manning.
I don't know that. I don't know if any of it knows it. Here's what I do know. I mean, if he throws, it's great. He throws for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns against Central Michigan.
Right.
I think it's fair to expect somebody, whether he's 18, 19, or 20, because I don't know when you stop being a freshman. Just like Tate Ratledge said, I'm done being a rookie. I don't know when that is.
Right.
You would have a better idea than I would, especially in this offense. I'm not saying it's all his fault, but I think it's fair to expect more than 63 yards against Ohio State, 86 yards against Michigan State, and 142 yards against Oklahoma. That's all.
You can expect what the F you want to expect, but if your coach doesn't put you in good ways and good positions to succeed, it ain't going to happen. So you can expect all you want to from Bryce Underwood. It's not going to happen under this Michigan team. This Michigan offense is not good. The couple good offensive linemen they had, they've been hurt. They've been gone. So you got a 18-year-old quarterback. You say it's young. It's super young. 18-year-old young man trying to navigate a bad offense with a bad offensive line, with running backs that are getting hurt week after week, with wide receivers that are dropping passes and really not that good, realistically. Your only good wide receiver is Andrew Marsh. So to put blame on him, sure, he faces some of the blame. That's on Chip Lindsey. Because legitimately, Bryce Underwood looks no better than he did when he was at Belleville High School. That ain't on him. Mm-hmm. So he deserves some blame. Maybe there's some more places where he can run, but that's also on the coaching. Mm-hmm. You keep trying to run RPO after design run. When that Ohio State defense, Reese and Downs, they wanted that. Like, you didn't just drop back and say, hey, look, let's go to shotgun, let's go 3 wide, let's threaten down the field. Now that they have to check the wide receivers, now the quarterback, Bryce, can say, cool, there's a space I can take off and run. Sometimes the runs have to just come from passing plays. Yeah. Not necessarily, let's design this run. We weren't good enough to design runs to beat that Ohio State defense. That had to come from, like Marcus Mariota last night. Yeah. Marcus Mariota last night made some plays with his feet because it was like plays Terry McLaurin got going. They weren't designed. They weren't designed at all. Terry McLaurin got going. Deebo Samuel got going. Ertz made some big catches. Mm-hmm. So now they got to respect the pass a little bit. And now what does that do? Marcus Mariota still runs 4.6. So he's taking off and he's getting extra yards. I think he had 30 yards rushing yesterday. That's how the rush yards could have come for number 19. It sure seemed to me that Ohio State was well aware of how Michigan was going to try and attack them offensively. They were. Is that a fair assumption? It is, too. And then when you get behind – like a team like that, Ohio State is a team that can score with the best of them. In fact, I think they are the best offense scoring-wise in the nation if they're not the top 3. Hey, when you got Jeremiah Smith and Cardell Tate and Bo Jackson and Donaldson and you got Julian Sain that has all that time protecting, at some point that defense is not going to be able to hold. And when the onslaught starts, they could have put up more points. Yeah. In my opinion, we got lucky. When the onslaught starts and you can't score points, 3 and out. Going downhill, 3 and out. Man. Now you got a defense. Now what does the energy do for the defense? We're excited. We're amped. Let's go. That goal line stand was awesome. Like, just imagine that goal line stand if you would have had a competent OC after you get that interception. Now you're up 10-0. Right. Now you're up 10-0. That's what I thought was the key. It was. I really did. The field goal on the first drive, so be it. You know, really nice 36-yard run to start the game by Jordan Marshall. Left side, I couldn't believe the size of the hole. You got to settle for 3. All right, points are better than nothing. When you get in on the plus side of the 50 and you can't punch it in, that's an issue. You're going backwards. If you would have had 10, and look, I know we're playing the if game. Look, I'm not playing the if. I'm just talking conversation. Michigan got their ass whooped. You can have all the jokes you want to, rightfully so. I have nothing to say. Mm-hmm. Michigan scores 10 early in that game, and then you get that defensive stop. It's 3-10 with much different energy. For sure. Much different energy. Now, instead, it's 6-6. Mm-hmm. You get that goal line stand, but Ohio State's offense isn't like, oh, man. Mm-hmm. Ohio State's offense is like, it's all good. We'll kick this field goal, but we'll be back because the offense sucks. Yeah. And I don't know how long that lasts, but there is a different feel to even the second quarter in that situation. It was like halftime. It was you knew it, didn't you? Because Ennis scored at the end of half. Yeah, if they could have held that one off, but when Ennis scored that touchdown at the beginning of the half, it's kind of like. Well, I will say this though. This is a humbling lesson for Bryce Underwood. This is a humbling lesson. I will tell you this part. It's got to be a humbling loss, but it's got to be a humbling lesson for everybody associated. But we were talking about Bryce, so I'll stick that one just for right now. All right. He was on the podcast before the season started, and he was running off at the mouth and talking to LeBron, and it's over for Ohio State. Until you know this game, until you've been into this game, till you know what's going to happen, until you know how you'll be coached, till you know what the collective is going to be, like, don't go somewhere and then live off of what someone else did. Like, don't go in there and talk stuff based off what J.J. McCarthy did or go in there talking about Blake Corum or what they did. You didn't do that. You got to make your own mark. So you talking about what you're going to do. I got humbled. When I got into the NFL, we did a Pepsi, it's a rookie symposium. No, it's not the symposium. It was the car shows, the rookie live or whatever they call it. You go out there, you do all the posing for your rookie. Anson will love this type of stuff. You pose for the cards, your rookie year, and all the crazy poses. They shoot everything at the Coliseum back then. Okay. So you shoot at USC. You're out there, you're doing all the crazy stuff. That night, Pepsi had an event, and they were talking about, they interview each player. What are you going to do? What's your record going to be? How's your team going to be? I get up there, I'm third overall. I'm coming from Michigan. Like, I'm used to winning. I understand this. I'm like, man, look, I know I play for the Browns, but we'll be 10-6 this year. We're going to do this. The whole NFC, the AFC North, get ready. It's a new sheriff in town. Didn't mean nothing. We went out there and got our asses whooped for my first year, my second year, my fourth year. That's what happened. So when I say it, I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah,
this isn't
right.
me just talking at you. I'm talking with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was full on display, and I put it to you this way: there looked like a lot of incompetent people on Saturday.
I don't disagree with you at all. I don't know how I don't care how big of a fan you are of the University of Michigan, of football, whatever player, all that stuff. I'm telling you, man, they were completely overwhelmed because the better team won by far, and it's not close. And you've got a long way to go. You've got a long way to go to catch them. You've got a long way to go to catch Oregon. You got a long way to go to even to catch Indiana to a certain extent. Can they do it? I'm sure they can. It's going to require some things that perhaps they have not been able to do recently. Is Bryce Underwood the guy? He does some things that no Michigan quarterback really has ever been able to do. So I'm not sitting here saying this guy's not worthy. I'm not saying I would move on. I'm not saying any of that stuff. All I'm claiming is that if you're going to blame, there's plenty of blame to go around. He's just part of it. That's all. Just like there's blame to go around for the Detroit Lions. Here's the question regarding the Lions. Have they lost their grit? Julian Edelman said it over the weekend. We'll get Braylon's thoughts on that. It's that and a whole lot more coming up on the Braylon Edwards Show. But first, from Chill and Art and Jakes, here we go.
Yeah, you know what? But let me get that on there. Let me show you what this stuff is, man. Look, Chill medicated, and that's Chill medicated. They got the CBD, as well as I want to say some THC, the roll-on freeze. You see the packs right there. You see the collection of items that they have. Now remember, this stuff is for the body. You rub it on your body. You rub it wherever you need, wherever there's some aches and pains, and you want a little relief in that area. It's perfect. I've done it before the gym. I've done it after the gym. I've done it before I've gone to bed, and it actually isn't that bad. Feels good. To be honest, it's chill, smooth, doesn't stink. It's not like rolling on Icy Hot or Flex Hall or anything like that. Doesn't smell too bad. Doesn't have that hint of CBD or THC, and it feels good. You should try it out. Let's face the fact, no matter what we do, we all have our aches and pains and deal with on the daily, like I just said. This is what you can use for that. Chill Medicaid's line of topical products are non-transdermal, meaning it does not get you high. I repeat, it does not get you high. So contrary to popular belief, it does not, making it the perfect fit for all-day use in any environment. Find reliable relief where it matters most. Check it out. Scan the QR code, see where it's at, and we'll keep this thing rocking and rolling. Chill Medicated. Let it be part of what you do.
Speaking of rocking and rolling, Art and Jakes is always rocking and rolling, especially on a Monday night. I would strongly advise you find one of your Art and Jakes Sports Bar and Grill in the 6 locations throughout the state and go and enjoy some football and some Pistons basketball tonight. Woodward Sports Watch Party is going to be there too, going live from Art and Jakes in Clarkston on December 14th. That's when the Lions travel to Los Angeles to take on Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Come hang out with us. Enjoy wall-to-wall coverage. Over 80 TVs, 22 draft beers on tap, a menu stacked with fan favorites, including their outstanding burgers. It's Art and Jake's Sports Bar and Grill in Clarkston, December 14th with Woodward Sports.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shaft Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face. New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions! Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
Fitness.
Hey, tell the good people about Planet Fitness, bro.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness
He got his
is
workout in today, I'll guarantee you that.
With over 2,700 gyms nationwide, it's the gym for you because it's the gym for everybody. We're all strong on this planet, and that planet is Planet Fitness. Access to the Black Art Spa, where you can recover and hydrate, massage, and other innovative amenities, $24.99, and it comes with everything. But don't worry, if you don't want to get that, that's all good. The regular membership is still in your price point, and it still comes with trainers. It comes with a squeaky clean gym. And the best thing is there is no judgment. Planet Fitness. Remember, your fitness is and always will be essential.
Folks, we're asking you to clear your schedule. Yeah, clear it for Thursday night football. Dun, 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 dun. And Woodward Sports taking over one game, one day downtown. Stop by the second best bar before the game at 5 o'clock for the live pregame show and some of the best food at any bar in downtown Detroit. It's called Second Best Bar. Then head over to Gillies at kickoff for the live watch party and postgame show. We've got great vibes with our folks, cold drinks, hot takes, and Detroit football all night long. That's not just a Lionel Richie song. That is true.
Oh, no.
The Lions and the Cowboys come through, rep the city, ride the wave with Sun Cruiser and Woodward Sports.
NFC North battle between the Packers and the Lions. Jules, your takeaway from that one was what, bud?
My takeaway is that the Detroit Lions may have lost their toughness. How are you a tough football team?
Dang.
You can run the football, you can stop the run, you can protect the quarterback. 7 quarterback hits, 3 sacks on Jared Goff, 7 hurries. I mean, they couldn't protect him, and that's Jared Goff needs to have that middle of the pocket. And then on the other side, defensive line, 0 sacks, 3 hurries. They just couldn't get anything on Jordan Love, and Jordan Love made them pay.
Had a game.
Yeah, so we pride ourselves. Here's what we do. And I get it, okay? Detroit is a tough town. Detroit is a hard-working town. We play hard. We work hard. Our teams, we expect the same from. That's why we love the bad boys. That's why we love going to work. That's why we love the grind line and our teammate.
Hey, talk about it.
Darren McCarty. That's why we love the 84 Tigers, not just because they win championships, because of who they embody. They embody us. It's the primary reason I think people love, besides the winning,
Yeah.
the Lions the last 2 years, okay? Last 2 years, that team beat people up inside. They dominated the trenches, and we felt like it was a quote-unquote Detroit-style team.
They had people crying about them.
Yes. Do you think they've lost their grit?
100%. 100%. Another thing that Detroit is, the fan base, is the sympathizers. They need to stop it. They need to start having real conversations to understand what this team is and what this franchise is.
So give me an example
At
of
this
that, can you?
particular point. Every week we've come here and talked about what the Lions are this year, and they continue to push the goalpost back. They continue to push it back on the right side of the defensive line. Like, well, no, we don't need to rush in. El Qadim Muhammad, that's what Dan Campbell said works. You see look what happens after 5 games. Oh, okay, well, he's got 3 sacks. I guess all is well in the world. All is well in the world. We need to fix the offensive line. We should have done it in the offseason. Oh, well, it'll be okay. You get to Frank Ragnow. He's back. All is well. It's always it's okay. It's always it's okay. You talk about the offensive line and what it's been this year. Let's just focus on that. I was watching the Chicago Bears game.
Yeah.
I was watching that game on Friday, and we've had conversation about the offensive line and at the
With
trade
the shirtless
deadline.
bandit?
Oh, 100%. And at the offensive line, what was the conversation? Well, at the trade deadline, there was only one offensive line move, so you can't. What about in the offseason?
Right.
What about in the offseason when you knew that Frank Ragnow was going to retire, when you knew that you were not signing Kevin Zeitler? Why? I don't know. It's stupid, and we can still talk about that. When you knew that you were going to try to patchwork the offensive line, move Graham Glasgow over from one position and move him to either right guard or center. This is the best thing that the Detroit Lions have had for the last 4 years. The reason why Jared Goff had these astronomical numbers is because of the offensive line, because of having a free pocket. The reason why the running game works so well is because of we talked about this ad nauseum. Oh, no, it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. It doesn't matter if Ben Johnson leaves. I'll get to that in another part. But the offensive line is something that you were supposed to shore up and make happen, not be negligent and say it'll figure itself out because the weapons are that good, because the quarterback's that good, because Jahmyr Gibbs mixed with Montgomery is that good, because St. Brown's the best wide receiver in the league, because Jamison Williams is worth the $29 million that we're about to give him, so it'll be fine. Meanwhile, in the offseason, when Ben Johnson first got to the Chicago Bears, he went out and got Joe Tooney, Jonah Jackson, and Drew Dahlman. 4 picks. He went out and got him for picks. He knew coming from here that the offensive line is the way. Smart. And what did he do? He went out, revamped that offensive line that beat up on that Eagles defense. That beat up on that Eagles defensive line. So when you tell me that, well, they couldn't have made moves. Well, Joe Tooney went for a 4th-round pick.
Right.
Well, Jonah Jackson, who you guys say, sorry, fine. But maybe it's not Jonah Jackson, but just telling how his deal worked. Yeah. Jonah went for a 6th-round pick. And then they also picked up the $17 million on his payroll. And then Drew Dahlman is someone they went out and picked up in free agency. And then they drafted another offensive lineman. Like, this is somebody that says, I want my quarterback to have time. I understand the value of offensive linemen, much like we used to. So I just don't understand how you pay Jared Goff $53 million extension, but now you don't protect them on the offensive line. And I know I'm focusing on one thing. There are other things, too. There are a lot of blemishing, but I'm just focusing on that. Because for this offense, that when you look at the records that they made in 24, the records that they made in 23, the way the season ended in 22, like that offensive line was a staple. And as opposed to shore that up, you chose to go in a situation where I think we'll be good. I think we'll figure it out. Just look at the defensive end side of the ball. Just look at the defensive end. We talked about getting another guy on the opposite side that can rush the passer as well, helping Aiden out, helping the offensive line or defensive line out. We talked about it. And we got to the point where we talked about it so much, Brad Holmes like, I don't know why they talk about it so much. Yeah. I don't understand that. And then he didn't. But Dan Campbell said, we're good in that department. No, you're not. No, you're not. Yeah. You're absolutely not. So,
in fact, you could argue, and you have always told us, be careful on numbers, be careful on statistics, because they can be skewed. So, for example, Detroit is still top 5 in running the football, but some of it is a little skewed because of the big game Jahmyr Gibbs had, for example. And then earlier in the year, how good Detroit was. Well, look at what's happened recently, and it's the same thing with the defensive line. Over the last 4 weeks, Detroit has just 4 sacks. 2.5 of them by defensive linemen. They have also allowed the longest time for opposing quarterbacks, to throw the football at 2.99 seconds. Detroit pressure rate overall is 5th in the NFL.
Yep.
But if you look at how topsy-turvy they've been the last 4 weeks, that's why I gave you the last 4 week statistic, because that gives you a better idea of how they're playing right now.
Yeah, 100%. Like, Detroit definitely creates a lot of pressures, but when you just don't break it down by the numbers and you actually look at the result, look at what Jordan Love did this past Thanksgiving. Look at what Jameson Winston did the week before that. Like, look 2 weeks before that. Like, that's where you judge it. You judge it by, like, what's actually going on. Are you getting home? Are you causing interceptions? Are you causing turnovers with these pressures? And the answer is no.
Well, in addition to that, and I would remind people, if you're new to this show or if you haven't seen it much, it was 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago specifically, where Braylon Edwards said they're going to have a serious problem against Dallas. I don't think Detroit's going to beat Dallas. Dallas is the number 1 passing team in the National Football League at 271 yards per game. They have the second best sack ratio by an offensive line. The second best sack rate by an offensive line. That's pretty damn impressive. And considering the Lions are having trouble getting home, Dallas prevents defenses from getting home. And because of that, nothing against Dak Prescott because he's had a fine season. Yeah. He's able to sit back, pick you apart with 2 of the better wide receivers in the National Football League, and one might argue the best wide receiver tandem in the entire National Football League. Definitely in the NFC.
Yeah, Dak's never had a problem being a really good regular season quarterback. In fact, when he had all the weapons, when he had a healthy Ezekiel Elliott back in the day, when he had 2 wide receivers, whether it was Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, or it was Dez Bryant and Amari Cooper, like any facet of that, when he had 2, he was always this good. Now you give him George Pickens, who's operating as, right now you can say the best receiver in the league, you know what I'm saying, in terms of the last couple of weeks, because, it's always hyperbolic. JSN stats are number 1, but what you've seen the last 3-4 weeks has been amazing. And then CeeDee Lamb said, you know what, hold my drink. Hold my drink. If you're getting in on the action, then let me get in on the action. He had a big game, over 100 a touchdown. Jay Ferguson leads the league in receiving touchdowns by a tight end. Javonte Williams, he wants in on the act. Even their backup running back now, 43, is back and healthy. Yeah. And Jerry Jones, for as much as we give him guff, and we do give him a lot of guff, time to give him some credit when he deserves to.
You're right.
He revamped that offensive line. He drafted a lot of young guys, first-rounders, second-rounders, to replace Zach Martin, to replace Tyron Smith. And I think now they're starting to hit their stride a little bit. He went out and he tried to give a Micah Parsons for Quentin Williams that's coming out earlier in the season, and the Jets said, no, we're cool on that. Still wanted Quentin Williams, and he went and got Quentin Williams. Look what that defensive line now looks like with Quentin Williams next to Kenny Clark. And, oh, by the way, Overshown, the linebacker from last year, who's really starting to come on towards the end of the year, towards ACL. Now he's back, flying and going lateral from sideline to sideline. Lions can't beat this Dallas Cowboys team.
Not with the way they're playing right now.
But let me ask you this question: when does it change?
No, I don't think. I'm not saying it does.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
because is it going to magically change from from a couple days ago to 10 days ago to? Like, the Lions have played worse and worse and worse, in my opinion, in the past 6 weeks. They've lost 4 of the last 7 games.
Yeah, they're a very inconsistent team. There's not one side of the football you can rely on, and rarely is there a player you can rely on.
Like, just putting our secondary against the receiver core, I'm scared as hell.
Scares the hell, yeah.
And
knowing that you're not getting pressure scares you even more.
So
isn't this a time? Let me ask you this. I was thinking about this while watching them, and I thought about it on Friday, and I said, you know what, let's wait. I'll hold it for next week. Isn't this a time where you're supposed to be as in sync as you're supposed to be at this time of the year with an offensive line, a defensive line, and everything? This is the time where you're really good teams. I'm not saying the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
I'm talking about teams that are supposed to compete for division titles, conference championships, and Super Bowl championships. They should be coming together and be gelled as smoothly as they have all season long right around this time of year.
Yes and no. Okay. At the end of the day, this isn't me making any room for the Lions. It's just being honest. Not necessarily. In 2010, we were coming, when I was with the Jets, we were coming off AFC appearance the year before. 2000. Actually, yes, let me bring that up. Talking about evolving, talking about being a better version of yourself, talking about not resting on your laurels. legitimately the same thing Mike Tannenbaum. When I was in 2009, we got to the AFC Championship. Like, we backed into the playoffs. I don't know how we did it. We backed in there. Like, every week it was like, oh, the Jets have a point this chance and 1% chance and 2% chance. And we ended up losing like week 15, 16 and still thought it was over. Nonetheless, we back in. We beat the Bengals last game of the year. We beat the Bengals in the playoffs. We beat the Chargers on the road. And then we go into Indianapolis, where at halftime we were leading. And we weren't supposed to be there. In the offseason, Mike Tannenbaum didn't say, oh, we're good. Mike Tannenbaum didn't say, you know what? I like what we got going on. Let's make sure we draft really good. I like the nucleus here. We got this far. We can do it again. Just add a couple pieces here there. No, wrong. Mike Tannenbaum went out and got Antonio Cromartie. Antonio Cromartie on the opposite side of Darrell Reeves. That's nuts. He went out and got LT. LT still has something left in the tank. He had 1,200 yards rushing that year. Added LT in the backfield. You added Jason Taylor to have a future Hall of Fame defensive end that had some snaps left in him, but more so will provide that locker room presence, help the defensive line.
Situational guy.
Situational guys from young. Like, he went out and got about 5 or 6 players because he said, look, whatever we got to do, I want to do that again. How do we do that again? But getting back to,
he's rewarding the players who worked their ass off to get that team to an AFC
by
Championship
trying to
game.
Keep them in the hunt.
Yeah.
Not saying we made it to the NFC Championship 2 years ago and that's good enough. Not saying indirectly, well, we went 15-2 last year. That should be good enough.
Or indirectly saying, you know what, we surprised everybody this year. We'll keep it the way it is because our guys should get better year after year, when we know that doesn't always work.
Yeah.
So sprinkle in some guys who can help lead, but also can add to the talent pool. It's not something that the Lions have done traditionally.
Now to bring it back and answer that question, my apologies, I got a little off kilter there, Kool-Aid.
Right.
I was just off. Is in 2010, now that next year, we were 9-2. The infamous game I talk about, the Patriots. We lost that game. Got blown out, 49-3.
Got your ass kicked,
100%. The next game, we almost lost to the Houston Texans that weren't that good. Like, we ended up beating them on, I called a 40-yard pass, got to the 3, and Santonio Holmes catches a slant route, and we win that game. We ended up losing to the Miami Dolphins that didn't make the playoffs the next week. Like, we still were figuring it out, Shep, and we were in week 13, 14. But you know what the difference is? We weren't having to fix everything.
Right.
Like, we were just a couple moves off. Maybe it was, you know what, Mark's got to go through his progressions a little bit more on this play. You know what, on the defensive side, you guys are relying too much on the blitz, like on the wide receiver. It was always just one thing to fix. Maybe special teams is off. Maybe the wide receivers are off this week. You know, maybe I've dropped the pass that I wasn't supposed to drop. Maybe it's the defensive coordinator. Maybe Pettin is trying to rely too much on man-to-man coverage and not situational football. But it was just one or two things to tinker with. It wasn't everything. The Lions right now have to tinker with every single part. Even special teams hasn't been good, speaking of special teams. So the Lions have way too much to tinker with at this point. It's okay. Every team has something to fix. Like Bo Nix and that Denver Broncos team, you don't think they have to fix? Like, we'll see tonight.
Offensively, they do.
Offensively. Yeah. We'll see tonight that the Patriots have to fix. Like, the Rams, clearly.
Colts just a few weeks ago were the number 1 seed in the AFC. So they've got things to fix.
Everybody has something to fix, but it's within the realm of fixability. It's a thing or two. It's not trying to figure out why we can't protect, trying to figure out why we can't get to the quarterback, trying to figure out why we can't catch passes, trying to figure out why we can't hit the right read, Jared Goff, can't figure out why we can't call the consistent plays and get guys into a rhythm. You get into a little bit of a rhythm, Dan Campbell, and then all of a sudden here comes 4 plays to Jahmyr Gibbs back to back to back to back. There's too much to fix right now, and it's too late in the season, especially when you're a 7-5 team, which sounds good, until you realize that the 3 teams in front of you all have 9 wins.
Right.
And, oh, by the way, there are 2 teams right on your you-know-what. Because what people don't want to talk about.
Including Carolina.
People don't want to talk about is, Carolina. But if Dallas replaces the Eagles, now you have to contend with the Eagles too.
Yeah. And they've got the tiebreaker. And Dallas may have the tiebreaker over you. Green Bay already has the tiebreaker over you.
And Chicago,
Chicago's the number 1 seed in the NFC right now. That's painful for all of us to admit because of you-know-who, but it's true. You can't hide from the facts. I don't think they're better than Los Angeles, but who am I to say? If L.A. had to go into Chicago in the middle of January, would you feel more confident with the Rams or would you feel more confident with the Bears?
Here's a question that's going to hurt, and I'm sorry I got to ask you. Was the identity of the Detroit Lions Dan Campbell, or was it the shirtless man in Chicago?
That's a great question.
Because nothing. It was always.
Hey, talk about it, bro. Talk about it.
I feel a little bit of throw up in my mouth right now. I mean, it's tough. It's
the
really
offense
tough.
has been.
And you know what? Shame on people like me. I'll throw myself under the bus because after the second week against Chicago, I guess we're okay. Oh my God, how are we going to handle it? Guess what? He's made a difference in Chicago.
Yeah.
Shame on all of us for judging way too soon. We don't learn. And again, I'm throwing myself under the bus there. I don't like taking off the shirt. I don't like the common sayings that he has in the locker room. I don't like any of that stuff, but it's working right now. And he's made his offensive line better. His defense is really good. They got 26 takeaways. You can talk all you want about, they're only +3 in the point differential. Well, Detroit's +76. Which matters more to you, the 9 wins or the +76 in scoring differential? You can talk about Caleb Williams' completion percentage if you want to. That's all fair game. Here's what you can't deny. Yeah. They've got 9 wins.
Yeah, and it's going to get better for them in terms of going over the years. Like Caleb Williams will figure it out. Like Ben Johnson's offense was sitting around Jared Goff. Jared Goff's more cerebral. He's going to stand in the pocket. He's not floating around. Caleb Williams isn't as good as Jared Goff is at the pocket and seeing things. He's more of an athlete. He likes to get out. So they're still going to figure that out. We talked about Jim Harbaugh because we talked about this, locker room stuff and the antics and the theatrics. You said, how does that work? I said when I first got to San Fran, he's talking about who's got it better than us. And Cass was looking around like, what? All right, cool. Then you look up and you're in the NFC Championship game year 1, and you're legitimately a punt return drop from going to the Super Bowl. Same thing with Ben Johnson. I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl. They'll get that close. Yeah. But when you start off good, better, best, and blah, 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 I was like, man, get this corny stuff out of here. Until you look up and you're now the number 1 seed in the NFC. Like when it goes like that, you can be as corny as you want to be because he's being authentic to himself. Yeah, it may be corny to us.
Exactly.
It's corny to us, but it's authentic to him. Yeah. And now his team is like, good, better, best, better than the rest.
Hey, man.
I don't even know what it is, but now it's something.
They're buying in, dude. They're buying in. And when you buy in, when you have a collective team buying in, it makes it really much more 100%. Difficult to battle. It really does. Speaking of issues, though, we all admit there's issues on both sides of the ball, including defense. Kelvin Shepard, the defensive coordinator, who we really like and we really respect, had this to say recently, okay? And Kool-Aid's got it for us on a full screen here. I don't think we've affected the quarterback to play any style these last couple of weeks. I don't care what kind of style we want to play. And the guys understand that, and again, that starts with me. That's him falling on the sword. That's fine. Yeah. I'm not going to just point the finger. You've got to go win some one-on-ones. Yes, you've got to win your one-on-ones in this league, but also got to find ways to try and maximize what we do have at our disposal and put these guys in optimal positions to be able to win, give them a chance, and give them the tools to win. He also went on to say, that Aiden Hutchinson's might be the best defensive end in all of football because there are certain things that he could possibly that he's affecting, that it can't be just one guy, and so on and so forth.
He's not affecting the winning category.
Which to me is it's getting. I think the Lions have to. Yeah, the Lions have to be careful here. Right. I get what the PR department has to do.
Right, 100%. Not the coaches though.
No. The PR department does what they do. They're really good at it. Okay, yeah. I really like the people there. I do.
QB hurries.
I think they're really, really good. Eamon Reynolds runs a hell of a program. Yeah. That's the reason they were voted #1 in the NFL. Was it 2 years ago? But coaches, you don't have to name specific players if you don't want to, but the constant patting on the back of a guy who needs to get home, I think is starting to wear thin on some Lions fans. I really do. And I think this is how you're detrimental to your own player. This is how you hurt your own player when you're not telling everybody you see what they see.
Well, Kelvin Shepard, he did not. He says, he's taking the onus and we're not getting home and things of that nature. Kelvin Shepard didn't go out there and draft Talik Williams. That wasn't him. That was Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes drafted Talik Williams, an interior.
And where's he been?
An interior defensive lineman. That's who Brad Holmes drafted. When Kelvin Shepard's defense needed another end, another rush in to be very complimentary to what Aiden was doing, a young guy, a guy you draft, a first-round guy that you draft, you could have found a spot in there, but you didn't do that. You went and got Talik Williams because you said, oh, yeah, let's ensure the interior. I don't know why. And then when we drafted him, I watched every single Michigan-Ohio State game my whole life. My whole life, I watched every game. And in the past 4, not this one because we lost, we got whooped. But last year when Talik Williams was out there and the year before, never heard of him. Never heard of him. So Kelvin Shepherd didn't get prepared with more, but it's just glaring and it's just annoying.
Well, not just that. If you recall, there was a time when he had a really good game. I forget exactly which game it was, but Al-Qadim Muhammad.
Oh, it was the Cleveland Browns.
The Cleveland Browns. Everybody was comparing his numbers to who? Zadarius Smith.
Z.
Okay. Maybe the Lions are right. Maybe they are fine. All these other things. And these are the problems that I think front offices have, not just the Lions, front offices and coaches have when they stand by their decisions so firmly.
Yep.
Like, I respect that.
Yep.
Okay. They believe in it. That's great. But if it doesn't come to fruition, you've got to be careful. So banking on Marcus Davenport coming back, he was absent. He was MIA against Green Bay on Thanksgiving. Like, he had too much turkey before the game. Where has Al-Qadim Muhammad been? Okay? We talk about Aiden Hutchinson, and for good reason, because he makes a lot of money and he's got to perform better. The other side has nobody, and I mean nobody.
And also, too, like, why is it always we're relying on some 6th, 7th, 8th round undrafted pick? Like, why is that the conversation?
Yeah.
Like, why is that who I'm waiting? Why am I being told at the beginning of the year, like, you just wait for Hassanin to get back? First of all, why would I put my eggs in Hassanin's basket?
Egyptian magician?
Like, why would I put my eggs in his basket? Now I got to wait for him to get back. Marcus Davenport. We talked about. Don't get me started on the 24 and the 24 and the 25 draft. Since we want to give Brad all this credit for 21, deservingly so. 22, fine. I mean, he took Aiden Hutchinson. Congratulations. 23, he cooked with grease. 23, he cooked with grease. Still love Jalen Carter, but I'm over it. I'm done. Last 2 years, nothing. These free agents, since the draft is what you believe he does so well, I'll leave the draft alone because you guys are already predetermined what it is. Where's the free agent? Where's the free agent that's come along and help out? Not named Jared Goff.
DJ Reed.
What's his stats? He's got 7 tackles.
I agree.
He's got 7. Hold on. DJ Reader has 7 tackles and 1 pass breakup this season. DJ Reed has been getting cooked before he got hurt, after he got cooked. Getting cooked. Emmanuel.
Roy Lopez.
Okay, he was.
I'm just giving you names. I'm not saying I'm not standing up for
outside of golf. Marcus Davenport, nothing. Bruce Irvin, nothing. Emmanuel Mosley, nothing. Twice over. Roy Lopez, decent, but I mean, what's he? C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he got hurt. Is what it is. DJ Reed, DJ Reader, nothing and nothing. Like Graham Glasgow. Graham Glasgow was serviceable last year. Like, your free agents.
Zeitler's the right answer, but it's one.
But I don't want to bring him up because you know what comes after that. Why didn't we keep him?
Correct. Right.
Like, so when you start to break it down like that, you start to realize why they're in the situation. And also, too, that middle round, I'm not looking for home runs there. But there's a lot of picks you can get that are serviceable players, eventual starters, or depth pieces. Like, but you want to try out Giovanni Manu, Tesla. Finally, we see you give Tesla the ball, he scores a touchdown. Yeah. 2 targets, 2 catches. But you went 3 third-rounders for him. Yeah. Now, because we didn't have these conversations because we were successful. So, like, when you're successful, you be quiet.
You're right.
And I always said when I did my last show, when you were not sitting in that chair, I said, if it doesn't work, be ready. Kool-Aid, you know I'm not lying. I said, if it does not work, be ready, because we're going to have some serious conversations. And now you've paid everybody. Like Aiden Hutchinson, like, you've paid him the second most non-quarterback. He can't even get to the quarterback. Yeah. And you're locked in for 45. Who else you locked in on?
You paid Jamison Williams, and Jamison Williams, he's going some games without targets. Well, Dave Montgomery's up after this year. But you pay Jamison Williams, and then you go draft a guy by giving up a lot of capital to get him. You're not going to address the other defensive end because you think you're good. That's fine. Yeah. But then those guys better come through. Al-Qadim Muhammad has a sack in 4 games this year. That's it. Yeah. 4 games. Those are the only times he's posted a sack this year. Marcus Davenport doesn't play. Isn't effective when he does play. And this is not us just taking shots at the Lions because they're struggling a little bit. This is stuff we've said prior to the trade deadline.
Because this is fair, too. And now I'll take my energy down a little bit.
No. I'm
still going to be cooking with grease. But I was just going to take the energy down a little bit. Also, too, it's just little stuff. It's hoping a player works. Like, now that we've gotten to this point, now we can honestly have this conversation. I hope that Emmanuel Mosley works. I hope that Marcus Davenport, who when healthy, he can do some craziness. You know what I'm saying? We get him on a little bit cheap. I hope that Broderick Martin, who's been injured again, I hope that project
I hope Josh
works.
Pascal comes back.
I hope Josh Pascal actually is healthy because he was hurt in college.
Yeah.
I hope that Hendon Hooker, who was hurt in college. Like, we got J-Mo right in terms of being able to get back and be healthy, but, like, it's the hope factor. It's the going after the little diamonds in the rough. Like, the Lions were in a situation in 23 that they are no longer in. They're in a situation in 24 they are no longer in. Like, now we're having these conversations. Now it sucks. This season's over. Like, you say what you want to. This season's over. If somehow they...
It feels that way, doesn't it? It really does. I mean,
I'm
I don't see the
I'm
path.
trying to figure out,
Because
what's the path?
Well, the path would
Dallas?
be the path would be reeling off 5 in a row.
You got to go to LA,
which you haven't done since you started 0-1 and then reeled off 4 straight. There's nothing this team has shown you over the last 6 to 7 weeks that would indicate they have that capability. Am I wrong there?
No, and also no, you're absolutely not wrong. But also too, the Lions are a, dare I say, worse version of themselves than early in the year when they were going 4 games in a row. Meanwhile, the teams that they're playing now are the better versions of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not.
Yeah, Dallas is playing their best football right now, and that's when you get them.
Yeah, the Rams had a snafu in Carolina, and for whatever, like, they caught, the Carolina's been playing really good football. The momentum was real, and they caught them in the rain. And look, sometimes it is what it is. They beat the Rams. I still think the Rams are number 1, but you want to take them down, that's fine. That won't happen in L.A. Like, no. Chicago's, they're chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
They chomping at the bit to be the team that buries Detroit's playoff hopes. They're playing everybody, regardless if they're number 1.
And by the way, that weather might be very challenging.
So
for a team that has proven to be less than in that type of weather. I don't want to be too hyperbolic here, but it's just a fact. They just have not played all that well. Their numbers are not very good in that regard. So I'm with you on that. It's super frustrating on so many different sides because it's not woulda, shoulda, coulda. We're not playing armchair quarterback.
No.
We said this at the time that you don't want to give up a second-round pick. I don't blame you. I wouldn't either. But this is where creativity needs to come into play. This is where general managers and personnel directors have to get creative with. You can't stand pat and do things because there are other teams that are getting better. Yeah. And that's you watch at the trade deadline, Trajan Langdon's going to do something. Because his team, he sees. I don't care if they're ahead of schedule. He sees there's something here. The East and the profile of the East right now is open. He's going to do something. If he doesn't and they don't fulfill their promise, then we have every right to criticize him. My guess he's going to do something. The Lions haven't done anything. The Tigers really haven't done anything. It's almost as if they're afraid to touch their core pieces because those core pieces are so good that it'll come back to haunt them.
Wait, hold on. So, Bray, you calling Brad Holmes super Troy?
You said
you calling him Super Weaver?
I'm just simply saying, like,
he's drafted well, but the augmentation has been suspect
in spaces.
What's Super Weaver?
Troy Weaver.
He didn't draft well.
Drafted. He drafted well.
Did he?
Yeah.
What did you like about those drafts?
A lot of those players, man.
Who,
Jamin Duran, Cade Cunningham.
Cade doesn't count.
Cade Cunningham. I mean,
that's why I don't. That's why I don't give Brad Holmes credit for Aiden Hutchinson.
Right.
Like, you're drafting
That's
Aiden
what I'm
Hutchinson.
saying. You called him Super Troy Weaver.
You and I could have done 12 beer bongs and drafted Cade Cunningham, buddy.
It's just one of those things where, man, like, you don't want the conversation to get this. I didn't want the conversation to go here. Me and my dad have had these conversations, kind of watching how things have taken shape. And when you just continue to thumb your nose at the process, like, the reason why we keep bringing Howie Roseman's name up, and then when you bring his name up, like, oh, well, look at the Eagles now. That's cool. You know how many times he's gone for it? You know how many times that he's tried to get his team better and better and better? Look, when you take shots, you're gonna miss some shots.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna miss a lot of shots, but you make more of the shots that you take. Like, you make more of the shots that you take, man. And it just every year is we're good, or we don't need this. We've got $48 million in cap space, or we got $27 million, or we've got this, and we got to worry about our guys, and we got to make sure we pay our guys. You best not paying them too soon.
Hey, we threw the poll up there. Do you agree with Braylon that the Detroit Lions season is over? 71% of the people are saying yes. They agree with you.
I hate that it is that way because these are some loyal fans. Like all you guys tune in every day to listen to me, Shep, spit our nonsense about the Detroit Lions, and you guys tune in every day loyal. Like, that's not fair to you guys. Like when I say not fair, like that means I'm saying the situation didn't have to be this way. It didn't. It didn't.
Yeah, you feel like you've missed an opportunity.
Yeah.
Is what you feel with this team right now, and of course every player is going to get older. So then you go into, this is where my mind goes. You go into, okay, when are you going to dress your left tackle, or do they really think Giovanni Manu is going to take the place of Taylor Decker? When do you take the place of Alex Anzalone? What happens if David Montgomery is not well enough or old, or is too old for you? Changes are going to take place, but now suddenly you feel like there are so many holes in the dike that you don't have enough to be able to plug those holes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember the first time I realized that word meant that. I was like, what was that? I think I was I might have been in like 11, like 10.
I tried not to chuckle when Bray got me.
Every once in a while, look, man, this season's not over, and the Lions still have to go out there, and they still have to put forth the effort. It's 5 games on the line. There's still an opportunity to get to the postseason. So I guarantee you we'll see a different team when you come this Thursday, but they're playing a hell of an opponent. And just going back to some of the conversation about what this season has been so far, except you're fixing dumb stuff. Like, I legitimately should not, as Dan Campbell, whose team for the last 5 years has gotten better and better and better and better, and we give them so much credit, we have given them credit about being this disciplined team, being this controlled team, being this down-in team, or coaching staff. Why the hell am I in week 13, after 5 years, why do I have to address too many men on the field?
Right.
Why do I have to address things like that?
Or not enough men.
Or
on
not
the field.
enough men on the field.
10 men on the field in one incident.
12 on another.
12 on another.
Pass interference where it's just like
lining up. Well, I think there's going to be a lot of plays where pass interference takes place. But when you're lining up incorrectly and you're getting flagged twice, that seems to be an issue, does it not?
Also, just not being in the right place. Speaking of like lining up incorrectly, how many times do we see it where Wicks was like, "Where's the coverage?"
Exactly.
Like, who's covering Christian? Who's covering Wicks? Who's covering Wan'Dale Robinson? Who's covering Theo Johnson?
Right. Where's the communication?
Where's
you can see the late communication taking place. Here's the bottom line. Right. They are dealing with things right now that you and I think, I'm speaking for you here, so correct me if I'm wrong, we thought were fixed. We thought we didn't have to worry about that. No. We thought at this time of the year, this season, like before the season, we go in, okay, we're going into week 13, week 14. We should be not necessarily winning, but these are things that we're taken care of. And now they're not taken care of. And now you've added to the list of concerns you have for seasons moving forward.
No, you can speak for yourself on that one, because I legitimately, once that Vikings game happened, that offensive line that I was watching all year did not like, and then that secondary has followed suit. In the running game, we started the season. The big thing for me was they can't run between the
times. I know that. I'm saying before 2025, if we would have said at this time of the year, week 13, week 14, we expect Detroit to have these things taken care of.
Right.
We would have thought they would have fixed the opposite defensive end rushing possibility, right?
Because we were giving that credit to Dan Campbell.
Correct.
And we would have never thought the offensive line would have got to this point.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat, we lost 8 coaches.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what? You're absolutely correct. But when I had that conversation, once again, Shep, when you weren't sitting in that chair, when I had that conversation with you, you told me we were good. Yeah. You told me that we didn't need those coaches because Dan Campbell was still here. You told me that we still had Hank Fraley, who was the offensive line coach. You said, we still got Hank Fraley. We have Kelvin Shepard, who was a disciple of Aaron Glenn. We still got Shep. Shep. We still have Shep.
Thank you.
That kind
I'm glad
of
we do.
Yeah,
me too.
Like, you told me they was good. You didn't complain about these coaches being gone early this year. You didn't complain early when the Lions, they back on track. They beat the Bucks going into the bye week. Seems like they're correct to what Shep is talking about. We didn't mention Antoine Randall, that he wasn't here. We didn't mention insert another coach. You didn't mention that. But now the Lions are sitting at 7-5. Now it's bleak, and now it's, then they did lose a lot of this. And, Ben Johnson's not here. Aaron Glenn is doing his thing with the Jets, and we had these same conversations before the season. You told us we was going 12-5 win the division, get to the Super Bowl because Super Bowl was the destination. So you can't use that now. That's not acceptable.
Yeah, that's one of those. That's one of those things where
I'm not
we
going
bring
for
it up only when it's convenient to us.
Yeah, I'm not.
There's no question
I'm not
about
going for that.
All right, quick timeout, and on the way back, we will talk a little bit more about just how I don't want to say bad the NFL is, but how unpredictable the NFL is. I don't know if there's a Super Bowl favorite right now, considering some of the football we've watched over the last couple of weeks.
I'm so glad you said that because I have a list of teams that cannot win the Super Bowl.
Good. And I think I know at least one team that's going to be on that. That's coming your way after this from Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning and Smoothie King.
Smoothie King, you know what time it is, man. You want to be a part of something special. We want you to be a part of something special. That's the High School Athlete of the Week. Yes, sir. Week 10 in the making.
Hey, one of yours had a really big game the other night.
Talking about Duke Banner?
Yeah.
Duke Banner, who is the quarterback
Yeah.
of Catholic Central. He was a Smoothie King High School Athlete of the Week. I want to say he was week 3, but he went against CJ Sadler, who was week 8, and boy, oh boy, CJ Sadler. Sorry, you guys finally lost, but look, nominate someone that exhibits the things that we value, and that's hustle, leadership, and big impact to the community. Also got to be a part of that Southeast Michigan, if you get what I'm saying. Scan our QR code above my head, but also pull up on Smoothie King, man. They reintroduced the brand. They recreated some good things, and also the ingredients are real now. Real fruit, real protein. Real fruit, real protein. Pull up on Smoothie King.
Hey, folks, Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning has probably been serving Metro Detroit for well over 40 years with reliable service and treating you and customers like you and your neighbors like family. Go check out their new and improved website. It's SharonsHeating.com. That's SharonsHeating.com. They've added some customer-friendly options there for you, like free instant estimates for equipment replacement, like online filter purchasing directly from their website with a very reasonable price. In fact, through the end of this month, DTE Gas customers are going to get a free furnace tune-up. That's all the way through the end of 2025. Call them today, 734-238-3805. That's 734-238-3805, and tell them the Braylon Edwards Show sent you.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shaq Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face. New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or Bust Lions network. Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be in Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions. It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
And if you want to pay him, that's fine.
Wicked Pickle. Look, if you're looking for the ultimate pickleball experience, you got to check out Wicked Pickle. With 10 climate-controlled courts and a chill lounge with cold drinks, it is Metro Detroit's hottest indoor pickleball spot. And if you see that QR code there, go on ahead and scan it and get a jump on this information, because this is something you don't want to miss. Mark your calendars for the Woodward Sports Pickleball Open on Friday, January 9th. Come watch your favorite Woodward Sports personalities go head-to-head against each other and pickleball pros. I know Bray and Shep are going to be in the building. I'm going to be in the building. You know what? The Woodward Heavyweights are also going to be in the building, broadcasting live from Wicked Pickle from 5 to 7 p.m. If you want in on this action, register today at pickleballtournaments.com for a chance to compete and maybe even take down your favorite Woodward Sports personality.
Look, I don't know about you. I don't like being in the courtroom or any type of deposition, but when I am, I prepare.
You know what?
Prepare. But hey, when you want to prepare and make sure you got the right guy, the right team, the right law group on your side. And that's Ben Johnson, and he is the fighter. He will fight for him, so let him. Corporations, the government, even the insurance. That insurance company is a motherfucker. But, most folks will do whatever it takes to minimize their liability and withhold on to your compensation. My apologies on that. So when something goes wrong, make Ben Johnson your first call. He is the fighter. So let him fight for you. Contact him at venfights.com. Little slippage right there, man.
And we back. Hey, you keeping it real. Ben Johnson keeps it real.
I think it was the excitement of the conversation that we just had, man. I'm still
I gotta say, no, look, Spendy hit me up, right? He was like, all right, look, we're gonna cut the Michigan stuff today for the clip. When you started getting going on Brad, he was like, it's fire, man. Y'all cooked up on that.
He's doing this, not the Michigan stuff, right?
Oh, he got the Brad stuff. He changed that quickly.
To Brad, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Michigan stuff is what it is. Like, this I want to be heard. Like, Michigan stuff is not going to change regardless who says it. I can say it. Charles Woodson can say it. It is what it is. This stuff, I want them to hear. Like, this is legitimately what we've been waiting to have this conversation if we got to this point. We got to this point, so I think it's only fair.
Yeah, the thing that is just slightly more concerning than anything else is kind of what people have brought up regarding the coaches aspect of it, right? I mean, it's convenient now. Hey, this team lost, 6, 7, 8 coaches, whatever the number was. Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn got a lot of play, of course. You've brought up Antoine Randall L. The Jets hired Tanner Engstrand as their offensive coordinator. If that makes you sad that you think he should have been your offensive coordinator, have you watched the Jets offense? That's all I would ask you. And I don't know how much to blame on him, how much to blame on the talent or the lack thereof. But I think we have a tendency to, make excuses might be the right phrase, but it seems like we want everything to be perfect in order for any of our teams to succeed when nothing is perfect. And I think it's a little ridiculous for us to start saying, well, we didn't have this, we don't have that. There's a lot of teams that don't have certain things right now.
Yeah.
Okay? And you're not going to go through a season unscathed. It just doesn't happen. You've got to find a way. Who cares how you win? You've got to find a way each and every week. And the Lions haven't really been able to do that for a while. Too much has to go right for them to win. And that never used to be them before. They used to find the way. They used to be the team that did find a way, and they're not doing that right now. And I think it's taken them out now of the Super Bowl conversation. Hell, it's taken them out of the playoff conversation. I think the NFL, it stunned me yesterday when I saw Carolina beat the Rams, but that's what happens when Matthew Stafford throws 2 picks and fumbles one. I don't know if there's a team right now that I would feel super comfortable with saying, you know what, they're a Super Bowl favorite.
No, they're not. Let me see what we got. I mean, I still think the Rams are. We can, debate or disagree about what happened. Look, sometimes you just catch teams. They play Carolina. Carolina is a team, like I said, they've been playing with momentum. They've been starting to allow Bryce Young to get some sense of what he is. He's got some weapons around him that he can get the ball to. And then you had a switch-up powerhouse at running back. Rico Dowdell is the one that people have been watching film on, and they forgot about Chuba Hubbard being really good out of the backfield as it relates to catching the ball in space. And that defense played. The defense has been playing really good all year in terms of, not really good, but they've played. They've been physical, and they've been aggressive, and they've been trying all year. You mix that with some rain, some nasty weather, some slippage, and you lose. I won't hold that win or that loss against the Rams. The Rams have home field advantage at this moment. They won't have to worry about those settings and those conditions again. So, but to your point, I watched Bo Nix last night. They got 10 wins. I don't trust Bo Nix to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
I don't trust Drake May to win the Super Bowl. I don't trust Sam Darnold to win the Super Bowl. I don't trust Brock Purdy, who they're still fighting right there. I don't trust the Eagles as far as I can throw them.
So what would it take? That's an interesting because the first names I get, Brock Purdy did help get his team. He didn't get it by himself. Did help his team get to a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl and was the MVP. It begs the question for all of us, not just you, but for all of us. What is it we need to see from a team that we trusted to win the Super Bowl? I'm in agreement with you, by the way, in Bo Nix and Drake May, because we want to see something other than just, them kind of, and it's more Bo Nix, relying on his defense.
With the exception of Drake May, like, all these teams look different week to week.
I know.
Like, every team, with the exception of what the Dallas Cowboys have done for the last 3 weeks, because the last 3 weeks they've had everybody back, have everybody healthy, and it's looked different. With the exception of that, the Bears look good against the Eagles, and they look really good, but do I trust Caleb Williams to win the Super Bowl? No. Jordan Love, he looked better against the Lions, but not a lot of people have looked bad against the Lions recently.
Yeah, right.
I don't even know if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win that. Do I trust the Carolina? So
hell no, right?
Anybody can win the Super Bowl if you get into the dance, potentially.
But let's face it, the reason you probably trust the Rams, I love their defense, except for yesterday, is because Stafford has done it before.
Defense,
and you trust Devontae Adams.
You always trust consistency. You trust teams that have both, offense and defense, and then it becomes the main one. Who is the coach? And who is the quarterback? So when you look at it like that, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a coach quarterback, and then I'm looking for a complementary offense defense.
It's like you're getting ready to fill out your NCAA tournament bracket, and what are you going to do?
I'm going
to look at the backcourt, and I'm going to look at coaches who've been there before, right? Oftentimes that's what happens. That's where people go with their NCAA tournament brackets. Who's got the best guard play, and which coach has been there, done that?
Also, too, man, some of those young teams, I may not trust Bo Nix, I may not trust Drake May, and we'll see how it all plays out, but Mike Vrabel and New England in January. You're talking about having teams come up there. I know you don't do the home field advantage, but it is something when you're playing out there and it's cold as you know what.
Sean Payton in Denver. Sean Payton's been there. He's won it before, and they've got nasty weather there in Denver at times. So
I'm trust the coaches. Like when you get to this point, once you start getting into January, you got to look at who's done it before, who's been there. And that's what you judge, and who's actually playing really good at that time. Because, like I said, I've been there with a rookie head coach and the second-year head coach in Rex Ryan. But every time the Super Bowl or the playoffs came about, we were playing our best football. And we had defenses. We had enough. We had the names. And defense, you got to have some defense, too.
I want you to think about this for a minute. You could envision a scenario in the AFC where there would be no Patrick Mahomes. There would be
no
Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow. Not that Aaron Rodgers would be part of it, but from a name recognition standpoint, where they and maybe no C.J. Stroud. Okay, so let's just take those four names.
But they've won 3 in a row.
Yeah,
4 in a row.
4 in a row, right? Yeah. 4 in a row. Defense is unbelievable. So you could legitimately find a scenario where it's not those 4 names, but there are these 4 names: Daniel Jones, Bo Nix, Drake May, and Trevor Lawrence. Who would have ever thought that before this season began?
I don't think you would ever thought it, but I think this is what you're seeing from the NFL. The NFL wants to be more like the NBA. When you look at the NBA, there's more changeover, there's more turnover year after year. It's a different team winning it all. It's different teams in the conversation. That's what you're starting to see from the NFL. The NFL, look, we're burying the dinosaurs per se, you know, and that's why contracts are short. That's why the league is the years are longer. A lot of things because this is what they want. They want us looking at different. What's the word I'm looking for? Different markets. They want us looking at different quarterbacks. They want us looking at fresh eyes. They want everybody to have a say, and
they're getting it
100%.
Yeah,
and I don't have a problem with it. Like you can't. The excuse that we've been in it for 8-9 years and we're tired and we're banged up. That's cool. Next man up. Next team up.
What do we say all the time? We say, look, on average, there's about 6 teams that made the playoffs one year. The next year, there's going to be 6 new teams. This year, if you looked at it right now from last year who didn't make the playoffs, you'd be looking at Kansas City. You'd be looking at Houston. There's 2 teams in the AFC. Who else would?
Ravens.
Well, the Ravens would make it today, but yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But the Ravens, yeah, it's absolutely a possibility. And then in the NFC, you already got Washington.
Are the Chargers in?
The Chargers would be in today,
Okay.
right? I think they're the 7th seed.
How about Jacksonville?
That's
Number
crazy.
1 team in the AFC.
Yeah. So,
Or number 2.
but then you in the NFC, so there's 3 teams in the AFC and the NFC. You'd be looking right now anyway at Detroit on the outside looking in. You'd be looking at Minnesota on the outside looking in. You'd be looking at Washington on the outside looking in. There's the 6.
How about 2 things? One, how about Minnesota had Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold at this time last year, and now all of a sudden their quarterback room is abysmal.
Oh,
it is abysmal.
That is, and Adam Thielen, by the way, was cut, I believe, or did he just?
He got cut, and he said
he asked to be cut, so he could retire. Is that correct?
From listening to or reading his statement that he put out, they cut him in order that he could go somewhere else and have a couple 5 games because he's retiring at the end of this year. So they released him so that he can go somewhere and get some work according to them.
Okay.
Watching that Washington Commanders game last night, watching that team, that's the team that we thought we were going to see to start this year with Jaden Daniels at quarterback, because that looked a lot different. And remember, Marcus Mariota was the quarterback last night. That team looked a lot different. Bobby Wagner had that defense kind of rocking and rolling a little bit. They were able to make some plays on the outside, so that kind of looked a little bit more like I thought we would see from the Commanders this year.
You guys remember the name of the Minnesota quarterback who started yesterday?
Yes, I do. Brosmer.
Yeah, Max Brosmer. Yeah.
Did you see the throwaway?
Oh my God!
Throwaway
pick six.
The throwaway of the year.
Oh my God. And the funny thing is, and look, this is not on the TV crew because they're doing everything they can to keep you engaged. That's their job.
Yeah.
All right. But to say, I pride myself on being the most prepared quarterback. That's great. I'm sure a lot of quarterbacks feel that way, but that was a painful watch right there. That shows you. It's a reaffirmation of what you and I have talked about ever since we started doing the show.
Watching.
There's not that many good quarterbacks in the world. Okay?
There are not.
There just aren't.
Watching that Vikings game was very much like watching, and I'm not comparing Bryce Underwood to Brosmer, but it was very much like watching that Michigan game because that defense of the Vikings is real. That defense is real.
Good enough.
At
Yeah,
100%. They do some really good things, but when you don't have an offense that can sustain some drives, that can move the chains, that can give you a touchdown here or there.
Give you a blow for crying out loud.
100%. When you don't, eventually, I don't care how good your defense is, ask the Philadelphia Eagles about Friday. Eventually, your team's going to cave. But they started off that bad.
Yeah.
Because Chicago went right down the field on them to start the game and scored on the opening drive, like on the Eagles, outside, in the cold and the wind. So
Minnesota actually had more drives than Seattle, 13-10. But only ran 50 plays. 50 plays in an NFL game is not many at all.
Look, that's the other side of like how good that defense is. Look at Sam Darnold's numbers yesterday.
Yeah, nothing special there.
Because he couldn't do anything.
Right.
Hey.
Tell me about it. I mean, we couldn't get the ball to Jackson Smith and Jibga, and it really pisses me off because he's my number 1 in my fantasy football league. All right, it does come back to that. This has been a really fast show. We're already at the bottom of the hour, bottom of the 3 o'clock hour. When we come back, I want Braylon's thoughts on 3 unbelievable catches that we saw in the NFL. And if we have time, on another proof that the NCAA is broken by what's going on at LSU and, of course, Michigan State, by all reports indicate, has a new head football coach. We'll get to all that. Yeah,
can I just say something?
Go right ahead. Yeah.
I'm just so excited. Michigan basketball, hockey, number one in the country. I just want to throw that out there, man. I just want to put that out there.
I thought Michigan basketball was 3 in the country.
They're number one. They redid the rankings, man. Number one.
Oh, they did redo
Number one basketball, number one hockey. Just another time.
How many hockey games did you go to when you went there?
All of them.
Did you?
My good friend is Eric Nystrom. Shout out to E Nice. What's up there, buddy?
Yeah.
And then excuse me, Joe Montoya, but Al Montoya. Those guys are
Al's
great.
Pretty good goalie. Yep.
And then what do you call it? Yost?
Yeah.
Like, I remember the very first time I walk in there and I go to a game, it legitimately was right after we scored. And you know what happens after they score? They go ham and cheese. They do the longest chant ever. It has a couple expletives in there. And I just was like,
it's a great
this
atmosphere.
energy is great. So I probably went to 4 games a year. But I would hang out with all those guys, too.
Yeah, it's an electric atmosphere. Yeah, I give them a lot of credit. It's one of the more. I say this to people all the time. If you're going to go check out certain events at the collegiate level, Yost is probably a must.
It was always cool too, because I was always like at Schemberkler Hall doing something late, watching some film, talking to Soup, catching up with the trainers, or just in there doing nothing. So a lot of times I come out, get in the car, like they have games, so or matches. So you just, oh shoot, let me pop over here, let me show my face, face card. You know how that works.
Yeah, it's fun, and congratulations to them. Dusty May, who was at the game Saturday, walked out of the tunnel. People were going crazy for him. So
going crazy for the football
his
team.
team's really good. Michigan State is ranked 7th in college basketball. So 2 really good teams in the state of Michigan. Good for them. Les Stanford's really good. They've got great teams, okay? People there to help you in all kinds of situations, no matter what your budget may be. Right now, they've got the 2026 Hummer EV for as low as $699 a month plus tax. They've got that 2025 Cadillac Optic for $449 a month plus tax. And the Silverado Crew Cab, a brand new one, LT, for as low as $159 a month. How do you beat that? Go to Les Stanford Buick and GMC today. Check out their massive inventory, and you can find it all right there on their website. That's easy to navigate, lesstanford.com.
If you want your car as clean as the University of Michigan basketball team, which is currently 3rd in the AP poll. Thank you, Chef. My apologies.
That's all right. That's
3rd in the AP poll and 1st in the hockey poll. Man, pull up on Jack's Car Wash, and we'll even do you a favor. We'll get you a free car wash. Text WSN to 888-522-1729. Even though it gets cold outside, car washes are still made to be happy because you want to keep that vehicle looking good, man. And after you leave Les Stanford, you drive that beautiful car, why don't you bring it on down to Jack's Car Wash? Sign on with the unlimited plan, get you in the door, $29.99 per month, and you can do all the things every day of the week whenever you want to. Jack's Car Wash, pull up on us.
Any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's haircuts for men, it's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shaq Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Looking for your daily sports fix? Look no further. Join Braylon Edwards, the University of Michigan legend.
Lofting it right corner of the end zone for Braylon, up in the air. Touchdown, Michigan!
And Shep.
Do you believe this comeback.
Your favorite sports commentator as they tackle the hottest topics in the world of sports. Catch the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network. Get ready to laugh, learn, and love sports like never before. Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions! Gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, you know, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network. It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Expert injury insights from Dr. Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Got a chance to hang out with him at Pete's house at Ann Arbor this past
Hey,
Saturday.
I saw the content.
Catch him this Tuesday on Big D Energy as well as Thursdays right here, the Brandon Evans Show with Shep, where he shares top-tier advice to athletes in peak condition. Trust the guy we trust, and it's Dr. Jeff Pierce. MichiganSportsandSpine.com and or 248-426-9944.
Oh yeah, that's it.
You see, I love that picture. The only thing they need to show the pizza.
I know right?
They've got the ribbon over it, you know, and I know it's a pizza pan,
Like
which is
holiday
great.
vibe.
Yeah, that's right. Pizza, love, enjoy. It's a really good phrase, but it's an even better pizza. You receive a free Foursquare one-time
ask,
pizza
you shall
voucher.
receive,
I know.
Shep.
Thank you. I hope you live by those words.
Hey, how's that picture look?
With that picture is very. or let me quote a friend of mine. That picture's fire. You get a Foursquare one-topping pizza voucher with every $50 gift card purchase now through the end of the year. So you've got 1 month left, all right? Host your holiday event? Sure, it's a lot of fun. Make it easy. If you host a party, here's what you do. You call the catering line, buddiespizza.com/catering. Go on the website, and you save 20% off your order if it's $200 or more with a promo code HOLIDAY20. What if you're having a pizza party at the office? Well, party packages start at just $15 per person. You can't beat it. Go to buddiespizza.com.
And we back.
By the way, you mentioned Michigan basketball. Yaxel Lendeborg named Big Ten Player of the Week. Led his team to a 3-0 record, averaged 17 points, 7 boards, almost 4 assists, 2 steals, more than a block, shot 63% from the field and 44%.
And people were trying to talk greasy about him after the first week of the season.
Let me ask you.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. Oh.
It was like slightly slower than they expected.
So it's like the Colts might be in trouble. Their big acquisition might be out for a while, talking about Sauce Gardner. But let me ask you guys a question. typically we talk about basketball being too early, kind of decide who's that good, this, that, and the third. I think the first tournaments in Madison Square Garden, which happened a week and a half ago, they kind of start the process of understanding. What Michigan has done in the last 4 games legitimately has won by 25 or more in the last 4 games. The last 3 games have all been won by 30 or more. Now, I know you guys are tired of these stats. I'm not, but I know you are, so I'll stop. When we say Michigan's for real, Michigan's the real deal, is it too early to decide that? Kool-Aid as well as Shep? Or is it respected to us like, no, they're doing something that is uniquely different, and you believe that they'll be one of the teams, you can say one of 10. That's just fair for college basketball. One of the 10 that'll be there in the end.
I think what everybody looks for.
Because a lot of people don't believe in what they're seeing.
Okay. I guess I would ask people a follow-up question to that is, what is it that you're struggling with?
Yeah.
What is it you don't believe in?
Okay.
Would be the question. I think the game that really should solidify everything for people is that they beat the snot out of Gonzaga. Okay, and Gonzaga at the time had beaten Oklahoma, Creighton, who was ranked 23rd in the country, I believe, Arizona State. They had beaten Alabama, who was ranked 8th in the country at the time by double digits. And Michigan didn't just beat them, they embarrassed them. They beat them by 40 points. So if you're looking for valid, I don't know how good Oklahoma's going to be. I'm just using that as an example because it's an SEC school and it's a big name. But there's some quality wins there. So let's use you're the one who's educated this on this for us in football. Give me your quality wins. That's a fair question for everybody. If you really want me to dive into a team and believe in a team or a player, then that's what I want to see. Well, Gonzaga's got some.
Yeah.
And Michigan beating them quite handily like that, and it was really never a game, that tells you something. That's the reason I believe in Michigan State. It's also Tom Izzo, but when you can say, I have beaten Kentucky, or I have beaten North Carolina, or I have beaten Arkansas, I mean, those are decent teams with quality coaches and quality backgrounds.
Yeah.
I would believe in them. I'm not sure about Purdue. They're number 1 in the country right now. Michigan 3, Michigan State 7, Illinois, I think in the conversation with the Big Ten, 14. I think USC is in there. And is there another Big Ten team I'm missing?
Indiana,
22.
Yeah. Okay.
Kool-Aid, how about you?
Yeah.
What would tell you that Michigan is for real?
The real deal.
You know what? How quickly and early in the season this team is going out there and getting these types of wins against quality opponents. You look at even our team right down there in LCA, the Detroit Pistons. It's about how early they're doing it, and it's them responding to what the coach is trying to lay down. Yaxel Landenborg, some new players. This is about, we know Dusty May can play in the NIL system really well, get the players here. But was he going to be somebody, if you're playing in that can adjust every single year to the players you have? Because it's a different team than last year. Different play styles.
Thanks.
So it's like seeing that gel so well this early in the season and Yaxel getting that player of the week this early for me, that to me is what makes me feel a little bit like this is something you could believe in.
Yeah, that's well said. I think there's a lot of people who say, show me. That's fine, even if you're not living in Missouri, the show me state.
Hey.
But what you're asking for is tell me who you've beaten and how you've done it. Well, Michigan did it. Remember, it's not just Gonzaga. They beat Auburn by 30.
Handily.
little payback from last year.
And it wasn't at home. I mean, it's a neutral
It was
site,
like a
but still.
3-game stretch of beating teams by like 33 points a game.
Yeah.
2 ranked opponents.
Yeah, it's an ass-kicking on a regular basis. So I think it's okay to dive in yet. What's weird in the Big Ten, though, I think they play Rutgers. It could be next week. It's Tuesday, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, they play Rutgers, and then they go back outside and they go to Villanova, or they host Villanova at home on the weekend or the following week, either case. And then they're back into Big Ten with Maryland and back out against LaSalle. It's kind of odd. You would think they would just play Big Tens from them moving forward. They're going to lose some games.
True,
okay?
100%, yeah.
But I'm bullish on both teams in this state. I think basketball in the state with Michigan State, and the Pistons is as enjoyable as I think I can ever recall.
Yeah, at the start of the season for all three of those teams, man, they're cooking with grease, man, and they're just playing some good team basketball. I think that's the best. Like, even they have stars on the team, but even with that, they're all playing within. You can watch their games. You watch Michigan State, and you see Tom Izzo's stamp on it. You can watch Michigan, and you can see what Dusty is trying to implement and what they're trying to find. And then, obviously, we noticed last year and the playoff run what the Pistons were doing. You can see the same things this year. They're coached well, and they play team basketball.
I wish we could say the same about the state of hockey, to be honest with you, because
Michigan can.
Michigan can. The Red Wings and their goaltending tandem has not been good at all. Michigan's been good. Michigan State's been good. Western Michigan, the defending national champs, has been good enough. I mean, if you looked at the pairwise rankings, and that's the difference in college hockey. It's not just the rankings like it is in football and basketball. They do a pairwise rankings based on who they've beaten. Dartmouth is 1, Wisconsin is 2, Michigan is 3.
Okay.
But if you're talking about coaches poll and things of that nature, Michigan is 1.
Because Wisconsin's 10-3, I believe.
10-2-2, is that right?
10-2-2.
10-2-2, and a couple of ties in there, and they beat Michigan State in a sweep at Munn, which is pretty damn impressive. But anyway, you got 3 good college hockey teams in the state of Michigan. Unfortunately, the professional team has been sliding a little bit and is having some issues and has gone from 1 in the division, in the Atlantic Division, down to 5. And that's a serious problem. Let's get to some super chats, can we?
Go ahead. Yeah, definitely got to get to the super chats. Shout out to the people as well for being here and hitting that like button. Hopefully everybody had a great holiday season. But they've been sending in those super chats, starting with Jarrell, who's number 1 in the chat today. With that crown, $20 super chat says Braylon.
Put some of that Bobby. No, girl, I'm gonna take it way back.
You know what we need? We need
when the wood first comes on.
We need like the cartoon with Braylon's voiceover and each of the little characters in the cartoon.
Oh, that would be epic, man.
That would be fire.
All right, my apologies. Let me shut up.
Go ahead, Jarrell.
No, I think this adds to it, man. That's what's up, man. Jarrell get a little bit more, attention. But $20 super chat. Braylon, I had the highs and the lows of this weekend sports-wise. I was not happy with the Pat Fitzgerald hiring. I personally wanted John Summerall or Brent Key.
So I take it he's a Michigan State guy. We actually were going to talk about that, I guess, at some point. Pat Fitzgerald, look, I mean, I think it's a nothing higher on my side of things. Look at what he did I actually wrote some notes down about this.
Last couple of years at Northwestern were a struggle.
Yeah, 100%. I think it was 3 and 9, 7-2, 3-9, and then 4 and some change. Oh no, I think it was Ofer that last year, and then also too the allegations and everything that came out with verified evidence to prove what was going on in these alleged acts. So if I'm Michigan State, I'm not coming off of a bad coach, a rush hire, and then another situation where there was scandal, the hire before that, to hire an individual that didn't finish well his last 4 seasons as a head coach. He hasn't been a head coach since, being an assistant coach, and also what he was alleged to do. I just wouldn't hire it. That's my...
Yeah, personally, I mean, we're going to totally disagree. I love the hire. I think it's really good. I think he knows the Big Ten landscape. I think he knows the cultivated areas in which you're recruiting high school. I think he understands the NIL situation right now. And the thing, even though his numbers aren't great against Michigan, he does not like Michigan. And that's something that the last guy did not have. Anytime you change coaches, you're looking for almost direct opposites, okay? Jonathan Smith came in. He was quiet, unassuming. His players liked him. He didn't necessarily, one of the many things that turned the Michigan State fan base off against him was he didn't embrace that Michigan rival. When you're asked how do you feel about it, he didn't necessarily give a good answer. The only thing I would say with Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern, and I'm not making excuses here because he won 3 times, he won double digits at Northwestern. That is arguably outside of
how long ago was that though? Like that's a different landscape.
Yeah, 2017 when
that's
he won 10 games.
That's not the NIL landscape.
Yeah.
It's not the transfer portal landscape. And also too, if I'm a father or a mother and I'm sitting here talking to this guy where he's alleged letting his players play naked car wash and having quarterbacks play naked center quarterback exchange, like what am I doing? Like am I sending my son there?
Right. It was the investigation found that he was unaware of it. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Well,
Okay.
I mean, we can laugh at it, but
But he also went to Northwestern, and this was
He
going
did.
on when he was there. So this isn't something about I'm unaware. It went on when you were there. You knew about it when you were there, which meant when it was going on now, you also knew about it.
Yeah, won a lawsuit against him, which usually would give the guy a little bit of a leeway. But I understand where you're coming from. I do believe it's a challenging situation at Northwestern, unlike many other in the Big Ten. Outside of maybe Rutgers, I think it might be the hardest place to recruit to, primarily because of
Smart school.
So some of the things that you have to go through. When they say Brent Key, I wonder what that was, other than the association with Jay Batt at Georgia Tech. They've had a really good year this year. I believe Georgia Tech 9-3, but barely above 500 in his previous year. So I don't know what you want to believe. Is he the coach that's 9-3 this year, 6-2 in ACC play, or the coach prior to that where they're just barely above 500 and went to Gasparilla Bowl and the Birmingham Bowl? I don't know.
I will say this is.
Shep, he throw them jabs.
I mean, you gotta let Shep do Shep. you gotta let Shep do Shep. I will say this though, regardless of the hire, this is the perfect time for the hire because that team that's down the road from you, they're in peril and they got a lot to fix. So this isn't a situation where you're walking into, being the head coach of Michigan State in 2023, where you're going to get derailed by Michigan, or 2024, where I guess it was ugly too for Michigan. But now it's a situation where you might be able to come in right away and make some noise in that rivalry. So if ever there was a time, this is the perfect time to revamp for Michigan State.
Yeah,
I do agree with that.
And in case people were wondering in the chat, the reference to John Summerall, he's now the Florida head coach. He was the Tulane head coach.
Yeah.
And now I believe Florida just hired him. So now he's the guy in charge of the Gators, and he's been really good. I mean, they're at Tulane. He's only been there a couple of years, but he went 9-5, 7-1 in conference play, and then 10-2 this year, 7-1 in conference play. So 2 years, is it long enough? Hey, in today's world, if you can fire a guy after 2 years, why can't you hire a guy after 2 years? All right, more super chats before I get Braylon's thoughts on Lane Kiffin and what's going on in that regard.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hear from BlackRock and Lady Jane's first, and then we'll get right back to those super chats.
All right, I'll do the Lady Jane's really quick. To be honest, we like things really simple here, especially on this show, and we know you do too, uncomplicated. So for Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men's, it's the perfect place for you. Walk in, sign in. Before you know it, you're ready to roll. Now, you did this for Thanksgiving because you wanted to look really sharp. Well, Christmas holidays right around the corner. Make sure you get into the latest Lady Jane's near you, and there's 28 locations throughout the state of Michigan. You can walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
Black Rock Bar and Grill is bringing the sizzle, and they're bringing it to the UP. But before we get there, got to say thank you to the Black Rock of Ann Arbor. You treated us with nothing but love, kindness, respect. Had a lot of fun. The heavyweights, they did their thing from 5 to 7. We got a chance to yell at some Ohio State fans, and obviously they got us back on Saturday. But that Friday was really good, and we appreciate Macy, I believe is her name, who took care of the heavyweights. But like I said, they're opening up a new.
It's a lot to take care of.
It is. They're opening up a new. You should have just seen all the items that were coming. They just didn't stop. And every time that they would bring something, it would get put away.
Those guys have fun, man. That's what I love most about them. They have fun and they eat like nobody's business. Good for them.
And they make people laugh, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Smile on your face.
100%, man. But it is this place, and the food is amazing. I was able to cook my own steak and lobster because that's what I went with. Cooked it myself. I got the 6 ounce. I got the ribeye.
Some broccolini.
Actually, you know what time it is.
Yeah.
You know what time it is. But look, they're still above the rest, and they're all around the state. You got to go to Black Rock Bar and Grill because the food is amazing. They've gotten better. The menu is deeper. It has more depth. Come to Black Rock, man. Pull up on us one time.
Hey, it is. And we're going to stay right here and get right back into these super chats. A little bit of news that broke during the show. Kirby Joseph did return to Detroit Lions practice via Colton Pouncey. So there is a video of him kind of zipping around the field, backpedaling, catching passes, and things of that nature. So Kirby Joseph back on the practice field.
Thank you.
But let's see here. Randall Smalls.
BB. I don't care.
In other words, zippity doo dah for Braylon.
My oh my.
Randall Smalls, boy, number 2 crown today. And one of our regulars, too, $5 super chat says, what is the plan moving forward? I say get rid of the QB1. I can be in a foot race and start there. And then he also asked with another $5 super chat, if we can get Michael Keegan on to see what the rest of this year's NFL script is. So he's wondering what the plan is. He's really trying to figure this thing out.
I don't know. I feel like the Detroit Lions have put themselves in a situation where they're behind in a lot of aspects. So what they choose to do, it's gonna be a testament to who Brad Holmes, who Dan Campbell, who Sheila Hamp is in this offseason. There's some moves that they can make, and they still have a really good team. They just put themselves behind the 8-ball. I don't know what those moves are, and we'll have to see, because I've prescribed my moves for years, and they haven't necessarily gone with them, and they've achieved some success. And other times they haven't, and they haven't achieved success. So I don't know what their move is, but getting rid of Jared Goff is not going to be one of them. That $53 million is getting paid.
Yeah, that's
that bill's coming due.
Here's the other thing. It's great to suggest that. Here's the other part of it, though.
Who do you go with?
You got to have somebody to take the place, okay? And if you think it's drafting a quarterback, you're probably not going to be in a position to do that. And there really isn't, I don't know about you, but there's no quarterback out there for me that moves that proverbial needle, whether it be Ty Simpson, Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza. I don't see that. That's just me. Doesn't mean I'm right. It just was. I didn't see it last year. I sure as hell didn't see it in Jackson Dart. I didn't see it in Cam Ward. We don't know yet, okay? But you're not handing the keys over to some rookie. You're stuck with I shouldn't say stuck. You're committed to this guy.
Yeah.
He can still play. But to Braylon's point, for the last 3 weeks, their derelict in duty is taking care of the guys in front, knowing the type of player that they have. You don't need to move on from QB1. You need to get better in front of QB1. Go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah,
and you guys over there preaching. You guys are definitely preaching. But I was locked in. I was like, oh, this is a show.
At the Tabernacle. On the hill, man. Sermon on Mount Sinai.
Also, dog. It got to be the black shirt and the chain, dog.
He's got some good one-liners today.
I need 2 tablets.
He's got some good one-liners. He can just tap out and just go,
Thou shalt not ignore needs that you have. Thou shalt not say, we're good.
That's the new tattoo.
What? Thou shalt not troll the media when the media is asking you, what about the rush in? Like,
the media does not forget.
Thou shalt stop telling me what they did in 2023 and 2024. I don't want to hear about getting to the NFC Championship. I don't want to hear about that anymore. It came and went.
Oh, man. Yo, look, during the show, we have one more super chat as well to get to. But during the show, I got to shout these guys out because they became not just subscribers, but Woodward Sports members as well. So Ron Chamberlain and Our Life in the chat, welcome to the Woodward crew.
What comes with that
and
membership?
Michael Wary, number 3 crown today.
What's up, Mike?
$2 super chat says, stop the excuses and blaming. Brad and Dan are okay. So I guess he disagrees with some of the criticism you all have levied their way
I don't
today.
think it's excuses at all. I mean, those. Oh, I think he's referring to Brad and Dan making the excuses. Is that what he's referring to?
Well, he ends his thing with Brad and Dan are okay.
Yeah, I think they're okay.
Yep. Clarify, Mike.
But as we've said, it doesn't just because we appreciate what they've done and give them credit for certain things that they have done doesn't mean that everything they have done meets with our approval. That's all.
I legitimately watched Larry Brown win not a national championship, win a NBA Finals, won the Larry O'Brien Award in 2004, and made nothing but great conversations about him. In 2005, when he lost to San Antonio Spurs, I had a lot to say about his closeout adjustments that he didn't make. Yeah. Now, whether I was right or wrong, it is what it is. But what I'm saying is the man won a whole Larry O'Brien, came here and done something that hadn't been done in 9 years. Was 9 or I'm off by one?
It's 1990.
Yeah, 19. So 14. Excuse me. 14. So 14 years, and the very next year, I'm criticizing him about what happened in Game 5 with Rasheed Wallace. It is what it is.
Because it was worthy.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay. Like, criticism comes with it. Like, this is what happens when you are in the world of sport or the world of entertainment. When you put that job on display for the whole world to see, what happens is you get a chance to get criticized if people believe. Now, this is just my opinion. But because I've been in the world of football, because I've played in the NFL, some of my opinions hold a little bit more weight because I've been in those rooms. I've seen these things play out. So this is what it is. Detroit fans, like, I get it. We're still new to the Lions being in this place. If Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell don't figure it out, they ain't going to be in this place so much longer.
Yeah, dude, it's totally justified.
Yeah. And Mike said he was agreeing with you guys.
Real quick, before we're out of here, Lane Kiffin leaves Ole Miss for LSU. Do you agree with Ole Miss's stance in that we don't want you coaching the bowl game? Or the college football playoff games?
No.
You don't.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like we live in an era where this happens. In fact, LSU, this twice that this happened for them. You talk about Summerall. Summerall did the same thing at Tulane. The only difference is he's not as loud as Lane Kiffin, and you didn't know.
Right, they're not talking about him.
Why, because he's not talking.
Well, also because Tulane's going to let him coach in the bowl game.
But even still, though, the whole process, like everybody know Lane loves Lane.
Yeah,
and always been that way. So
he's high maintenance.
100%. As it relates to that, it's yes, because it's this era. We saw Brian Kelly do it. It didn't work out for him. But when you're telling me that this is the greatest season that Oxford has ever had in the history of Ole Miss, this is the best season that they had, this is the best that they can do, and they're still not going to win a national championship. Meanwhile, this school, LSU, which is a much better job, is offering $5 million more and a bigger buyout, the whole 9 yards. You've accomplished what you can accomplish at Ole Miss. I would have left to go to LSU too in this era. Not to mention, you knew who you were dealing with. Like you've watched you watched Lane Kiffin at every step. In fact, remember the national championship? When Nick Saban told him, don't even come to the game. Stay yourself on the bus because something had happened because Lane Kiffin was worried about another job. And I think that was a USC job. Right. So this is who you knew you hired. So you know what? I don't care.
I'm with you. Look, I'm with you 100% on that. You mentioned Larry Brown. That's what triggered it because Larry Brown was a carpetbagger.
Right.
Okay, he was always looking for the next gig.
Ole Miss should let him coach though, because if you win a national championship, it doesn't matter what this guy is doing.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you. I look at it more from the kid's standpoint. I feel bad for the kids. He should be allowed to coach those kids if the kids want him to. However, if I'm Ole Miss and I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute. Every time he trots out there in front of the microphone,
you know he's leaving.
Well, people think LSU. They don't think
he's a representative of LSU.
That's number one. Here's the other thing. How many of those kids during the week is he like, hey, man, transfer portal, I need you at LSU. I want you to play. That would concern me. That would concern me too. Yeah. So I get both sides. The bottom line is what's really screwed up in this whole thing with NCAA is the calendar. The college football calendar is messed up.
Oh, 100%.
And I don't have any problem with the coach leaving. I don't have any problem with kids leaving anymore either. But I have a serious problem with how the timing works when these kids are trying to accomplish a lifelong goal.
You see what LSU did, and they put in his contract as it relates to the national championship?
Yeah.
If Ole Miss wins the national championship, he gets an extra $1 million.
Yeah. It's just
like I don't know what Lane Kiffin did.
I don't either.
I don't know where he did it, when he did it, who he has pictures on. He's got somebody naked. He's got somebody dead to right. He's got somebody in the safe. Because realistically, like he goes from one blessed opportunity to the next. Like the worst job he had was at FIU, and that's because we had to have him there, or Florida Atlantic, because he had messed up and done some things. We're gonna put you here, which he still is getting paid $4 million to be in like Coconut Grove, Miami. Yeah, right. Now, what has he done right?
Dude,
I'm not hating. I just want to know.
Ole Miss took a chance on him. Nobody wanted him.
Like, it was Ole Miss and Arkansas, but even still, he had opportunities. Like, what has he done right?
I think he's a brilliant offensive mind.
100%.
But I think he's more trouble than he's worth. We'll soon find out at LSU. Thanks for watching.
So fake.
We appreciate it. That's the other thing. I don't think he's legitimate.
Yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow, 2 o'clock here on Woodward Sports.
I'll be nicer tomorrow.
Have a great day, everybody. I don't want you to be. I just want you to be honest and truthful, and that's exactly what you were.
I'll tell you a story about the guy almost beat up at the gym tomorrow.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
I saved it tomorrow. I almost had to beat a guy up at the gym today.
Dude, I wish you would have led with that, but we'll get to it tomorrow. With you, 2 o'clock. Don't forget
he knew what he was doing.
The heavyweights at 5 o'clock. Have a great day.
See you.
We have to Braylon's break down that.
Looking for your daily sports fix? Look no further. Join Braylon Edwards, the University of Michigan legend.
Lofting it right corner of the end zone for Braylon, up in the air. Touchdown, Michigan!
And Shep.
Do you believe this comeback?
Your favorite sports commentator as they tackle the hottest topics in the world of sports. Catch the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network. Get ready to laugh, learn, and love sports like never before.